it is very likely that this was the basement of the royal tumba of Jolanta, and this was the basement of the royal tomb of Andrew. These were built of brick to a certain height, and then you had the sarcophagus upstairs. From the inside it was very simple, just brick, not even plastered, because nobody saw what is inside in the basement, so it's simple. And but from the outside it was definitely covered by nice carvings. Well, according to the georadar pictures, we had the columns, the pillars for sure. It turned out to be longer, the church. It was just in 2019 we had these ideas. But what the end of the church looked like, we had no idea. Because the georadar doesn't show any clear picture here. The problem is that the remains, the actual walls, and the debris of the fallen walls, if it's mixed, then you cannot really have different radar pictures from different materials. So we thought that it must look like a typical Cistercian plan. With this size, there should be one straight-ended main apse and two side chapels, also straight-ended. It would be logical because by the end of the 12th century, this so-called typical Cistercian plan was established by the end of the life of Saint Bernard. So, and this was a royal foundation in 1179. Then it should be a typical Cistercian plan. Also, we know that Cistercians were preferring to settle in places far from the towns, far from former settlements, in the wilderness, and then they started to tame the nature. Now, with the excavation, first thing, we found the basement of an early Arcadian church, a village church with a cemetery. So, first irregular things, the Cistercians didn't come to the wilderness, but they took the place of a former village. Second problem, this is how the village church might have looked like, and here is the foundation. It was excavated by Daniela and the Romanian team, and then we got the permission in 2000, when was it, Daniela? 2020 or 21? When we got the permission to excavate under the road? 20. It was COVID time, nice time. So everybody who came from Hungary had to stay all the month, and then 2 weeks quarantine in Hungary. So it was a long journey. And so we did the excavation here, and surprisingly, it turned out, this is our house here. It turned out that the original church, had 3 semicircular apses, which is completely non-Cistercian. Furthermore, the central apse, which normally in any Romanesque basilica should be protruding more, is almost in the same line with the side apses. This is very unique plan in the Carpathian Basin, and it can only mean one thing, that the interior of the church was this whole church type. So the main apse, the main nave and the side naves are of the same height. Because normally a basilica is you have the main apse and it's higher than the naves, but no. Here it was of the same side, and our colleague Gergely found very nice parallel for it in Walderbach in southern Bavaria. There is a church. The blue is Igriș, the plan, and the black is the plan of Walderbach church. It's almost the same proportions and everything. And the story is that here in Walderbach it was Augustinian canons who started to build a church, and then it was donated to the Cistercians middle of the 12th century, so they continued whatever was there. And then it's very likely that actually the architect, the main architect, was sent here to Igriș, and he was making an identical plan. And we know that the dynasty in Walderbach was in very close family connection with the Arpadian kings. And for example, in 1195, the head of the family died in Hungary while going to the Holy Land for a crusade. So they were relatives of the Hungarian kings. So there might have been some movement.
Which family?
But it's this Walderbach, the rulers of Walderbach. It was like a county. And of course, later on, the apse of the original Walderbach church was removed, and there was a Baroque apse made. That's what you see here. But during the excavations, the three semicircular apses were found.
Also
now,
there.
Sorry?
Also there. In
Yes. So now and then, after in a second phase, the Cistercians destroyed the main apse and built a rectangular, more Cistercian-like something. We think that it was after the Mongol invasion, when the basilica had to be rebuilt. Then they decided that, okay, let's do something new.
Yes, possible.
Possible. That's only theories. But they left the side axis. At the same time, it's very clear that they extended here the church, and very likely here also, adding a possibly rectangular thing, but we can only know it if excavations are made in the garden of Mr. Muntanu.
He doesn't want.
No need for it anyway. But here it's very obvious that the side wall in the second phase was destroyed, and the pavement was put on the base of the wall. So there was an open space attaching to the monastery. That's why in the reconstruction you have these rectangular side chapels in the second phase, and you have these two original semicircular apses. So it was the best preserved part of the church, because it's under the road.
Yes.
And it seems that the road network, with this very straight grid pattern, very much organized, was the first thing to be demarcated in the village after the Turkish wars, and nobody touched whatever was under the road, because everyone was using the road. The rest of the area was a stone and brick quarry for the local people, of course. And so this is how the whole area looks like. This is how the first church might have looked like. Maybe it had a tower here in the crossing, we don't know. It had strong enough pillars to be able to support a complete tower also, but nobody knows. That there is a version of how it might have looked like with tower. And I prefer this simpler version. And then this is the second phase, when you already have the rectangular things. Here, this is the facade we are digging now with the Hungarian Syrian team, and there was definitely a narthex, because there are no remains of any staircase. So, and there is also a burial here, so there was a narthex. That means that there was definitely the dormitory of the Conversus brothers was definitely attached from here, and those are the ones that we hope that will be found, and possibly this is how it looked like. Now, thanks to the excavations of the Romanian team in the past years, they continued. We know that it must have been bigger, but to where it extended, well, possibly under the road, but
no, it's impossible to excavate under the road. Maybe until the road.
yeah, but
the roads are here belonging to the commune, to the,
of course,
not to the county.
and this is a very important road. When we were in the excavation here, nobody was really using it. It's okay. But to cut this road, that's...
We don't want to make trouble to the people.
No. But it's very likely it extends outside the fence for a few meters, but
Yes.
then ends because there was this big arch you
Until
excavated.
the end of the road we can do.
Mhm.
We can.
I think it would be enough one day. And well, this part it would be also nice to see just the extent of the monastery so that new models can be made and some pictures of the problem why excavation was very slow that we have sometimes 4 or 5 layers of graves above each other.
Yes, but since 2023 we didn't have skeletons, and we excavated the larger area.
The monastery, yes.
As usually in a year.
The problem that inside the church you have lots of skeletons, and so here are some pictures with the position of the graves, and this might have been the tomb of Jolanta,
Yes.
the under structure.
2016 is this first campaign.
Yeah. And you can see that the interior was not plastered. You can see the mortar flowing down, and this was the original floor level inside. And you can see that the mortar was collecting here and remained there. So, and it is not impossible that in 1235 or a few years later, when the big quarrel between the two monasteries ended, then Andrew was buried here. Actually, this was the most precious part of the church, and well, here, when the reconstruction was made with the new rectangular apse, in the former foundations, 2 graves were excavated. Who was buried there, we don't know, but it was the most important part of the church after the new apse was built. So, well, it would be nice if it would be nice if the Queen and the King would be repositioned there, but maybe after the problem is that it was mostly empty. Some bones from one of the graves, and then this is the most interesting thing, that it was excavated by Daniela. This is the mass grave from the Mongol invasion part. You could see all those remains. There were about 50 people.
150 people, but only fragments of them.
Of different people. So it's it was of course not in anatomic order, but sometimes you could see that a hand is still together, but the rest of the body was nowhere, which we think that it could mean that in the end of springtime the Mongols came, they got into the monastery, and possibly the people, and the interesting thing is that there are no remains of any wounds on the bones. So no cutting, nothing. So what might happen is that they took refuge in the church, they closed the church as usual, and then the Mongols set it on fire. And they died because of the smoke. And then maybe the Mongols got in, looked around, whatever, but of course they left everything and everybody there. And it was May, you know, very humid air, hot weather, whatever. The body started to decompose very fast, and maybe after a few weeks some survivors returned and they dug this grave inside the church, because the bodies were inside the church and this is the holy place anyway, and by that time half of the body was liquid, and then with sticks they pulled the human remains into the pit. And one proof possible, and that means that okay, arms, legs were still held together by these
ligaments.
Yes, that's right. But the rest of the body was decomposed, so they were pushed in. And one of the possible proofs for that is that it was relatively full of medieval remains that you usually take out. and don't leave it there. But of course, in this liquid, stinky something, that it was just nobody started to pick out important material.
But you found also Mongol skeletons, or you cannot?
No.
Cannot be identified.
We don't know, we didn't, but I don't think we're Mongols here. No.
Nobody buried them for sure.
No.
And I think that maybe if I'm sure that many Mongols died during the siege of the monastery, but they were possibly buried by their
Outside.
So
comrades.
the army didn't left behind the skeletons.
I don't think so.
The bodies.
No. And by the way, it is inside the church. So inside the church, I mean, all the Mongols died outside while attacking the fortress. And inside the church, it was only the locals who were closed in, and they were dying from the.
Yes. And inside of the cloister.
Yeah.
But probably after a while, when they came to clean up the entire area, probably they took the bodies and put in the same.
No, but maybe after clothes they knew who were Christian and who.
I think that the Mongols don't leave the dead guys on buried. The rest they left.
And for the others was possibly important to bury them in the church.
But it's an important question. We should find a mass grave of Mongols also in Igriș.
Somewhere could be.
Sometimes you have, because there are in Hungary there are a number of churches excavated in the recent years that are dating from the Mongol period. They all have the remains of trenches around them, and inside the trenches and inside the fence there are dead bodies of the Hungarians killed, and some Mongols were identified.
No, it's possible. This year we found a skeleton in the ditch there, and could be a Mongol. We will see.
Okay. But there are nice architectural fragments, so not everything was taken from the monastery. This is one option how the main gate might have looked like. This is from Esztergom, the Porta Speciosa. But one thing is for sure, we have red marble from Esztergom area, this so-called red marble, and we also found in 2021 a large piece that's in the exhibition, I'm sure, of white marble with the Latin inscription remains. So it was a very, very nice and fancy and well-decorated church. I think it's 13th century, end of the buckle.
Yes.
But that's later. Most of the graves are 14th, 15th century, and
stove tile, de la sobă, cahle, așa erau.
We did some nice decoration, and these are the remains of this mountain crystal.
And this was found in the area where excavate.
I think in
where we
the
excavate now, and it's possible outside of the churches. This, and we found this here a base of an oven with, and it's possible to be from this. Because in the area we found a little fragments of this kind of oven tiles.
Oven tiles.
Yes, glazed green tiles.
And this was possibly made in Egypt. This fucking crystal
I am
glass.
very sure. Yes, it's my love.
That's 2016. No, I think it's 13. It's the
13,
very first.
When
You see
they
the former
made yes, we were. Am fost la înmormântare.
He died
2 weeks ago. No.
Yes.
And
he was a very kind person. And this land was for his uncle?
Yes.
Or some relatives? Originally.
I think
that's your predecessor?
Yes. He died in 2023.
23, yes.
And some pictures of
from
when the house was
2019.
still only half renovated.
Okay.
Hot weather. That's the last picture.
In 2019, yes.
Yeah. So this is
Even then you had some Syrians with you?
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, because we have a number of Syrian students, and it's always fun. Yeah, in our university.
Budapest.
Yes. We have. They are studying either masters or PhD. The Hungarian government is giving 250 full scholarships for Syrian students every year, and they can choose from all sorts of universities. And in our university, we have about 50-60 Syrian students in the English language courses studying archaeology. And it's a funny thing, you know, when at the border they are always a bit astonished that we are taking Syrians out of Hungary and not in smuggling.
But now it's Schengen.
Now it's Schengen.
You haven't?
No. There is a police on both sides standing there, but they don't say anything and they don't stop you. Or, yeah.
Now we escape.
Yeah.
This kind. And we had as well, yes, 2023 I think. Was,
and this is the exhibition room.
yeah. It's the open of the exhibition in 2022. First time. Because we had the anniversary moments.
Well, experts are saying that this could be from the decoration of the royal tombs, because it's very high quality, and normally in Cistercian churches you don't have decoration inside, especially not this time.
And they are very, very beautiful. And this year it's more spectacular, this part.
Yeah, these are the
our excavations in 2023 and 2024. And now we are here, and in this part. And we wish, I hope next year, to finish all this. Maybe we can with your team as well.
We hope to. And here you see 5 meters square. Actually, Daniela found here the huge arch over the water channel, which means that this could be the toilet area. So this is the edge of the monastery, but it would be nice to find at least one.
We will try until.
I think maybe in 1 or 2 meters you find.
You can extend 5 meters. Is not a problem if the traffic is not blocked.
No.
Yes, but it's a problem. We need something to să înconjurăm, nu știu.
Fence.
Yes, because our museum hasn't money.
We will check next year.
We can do something temporary to.
Yes, and you know, it's my responsibility. If somebody have an accident, I will be responsible. Dacă își rupe unul gâtul într-o groapă, șeful de șantier. Deci nu.
Or somebody's dog. Or last time, George just told me that he saved one of the goats here on the fence because he had a rope, the goat, and it somehow stuck on the fence.
We found the hedgehog this year in un arici am găsit și l-au scos într-o dimineață.
So we can check the posters also.